Hello YouTube, Josh here for YuGiOh. Today I have something very special for you, the very first top 10 list for this channel. Today's top 10 list is going to be the top 10 normal monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Of course, you know, the vanilla monsters with rich lore and absolutely no effects. And because of that, I'm going to be disqualifying Gemini monsters, the certain Noble Knights who sometimes count as normal monsters, and the Pendulum normal monsters that were recently introduced. So basically, if it has the option to get an effect, it's disqualified from this list. Also, the criteria that I'm going to be using for this is going to be based on stats, likability, artwork, lore, and usability. So that kind of, in a sense, it leaves a lot of room for a lot of different types of monsters to be seen here, and also the order of how they'll appear. But it also kind of restricts a lot of other monsters. Also remember, this is my personal choice based on research and just kind of objective decisions. So if you have anything different in mind, go ahead, let me know in the comments below. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and move these rabbits out of the way and get started. So, taking the number 10 spot on our list today is going to be Atlantean Pikeman. Now, the reason I included Atlantean Pikeman is because for being a level 2 normal monster that came out quite a bit ago, it has a lot of attack, 1400 for a level 2 monster. That makes it the monster with the highest attack to level ratio as far as normals go. It also has, you know, great lore. The Great Ocean Lord, who reigns over the depths, is served by these lancers. Deep-sea creatures exist in fear of facing the stream of attacks their lances are capable of. You know, basically being the original Atlantean before the entire archetype started, but sadly not really fitting well into the archetype, just it being a normal monster and not really having much of an effect. So that I feel that's deserving of a top 10 spot. Next up, number 9 is going to be Shape Snatch. Now, of course, if you're anywhere like online in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, most likely you know about Shape Snatch. Supposedly one of the quote-unquote worst monsters, but it's absolutely funny. The artwork is just very cool. It's this, you know, it's all swaggered out and whatever. But the lore is very kind of what makes this so funny. A bow tie with horrible power. It attacks an opponent by controlling others. So essentially, the monster is the bow tie with horrible powers. It's a level 5 normal dark machine, very bad stats. But the funny part about it is that because this is such a funny and laughed at card, there is actually an OTK based around it. I'm sure you can go ahead and fill that OTK with much better normal monsters, but right now it's kind of built for Shape Snatch, and that's why he gets the number 9 spot. Next up at number 8 is going to be Noble Knight Artorigus. The very first Noble Knight to be released back in Galactic Overload, before it was kind of an archetype. He has very decent stats for a level 4 monster, 18 attack, 1800 attack, 1800 defense. The lore is very rich. I love how it's like a poem, like a story. You can go ahead and read that. That's you know, quite a bit. Also, the super rare and ultra rare, the holographic, just how shiny it looks, just looks very nice. Sadly, in more recent Noble Knight builds, you don't particularly use him as much. A lot of decks don't even use him at all. You know, in earlier builds, he was kind of the, I guess the important one, the one that you start using because he was pretty much the only one. But I feel he's deserving enough of an 8 spot. Then at the number 10 spot, I decided to place a Dark Magician because, of course, you know, being very nostalgic. And the art is kind of cool just cause he looks cool. He does have a lot of support for him, and of course a Dark Magician deck is like fun to play, but not exactly the best. His stats aren't too bad. You know, 25 attack and then 21 defense. Even though his lore here says the ultimate wizard in terms of attack and defense. It's not exactly true. You know, probably at the time it definitely was, but nowadays not so much. I think he's, you know, fine at 7 just because everybody kind of loves him. Next up at number 6, Mystic Shine Ball here. Yeah, I do have to proxy Mystic Shine Ball. I just don't have any. Never played Agents. Of course, we all know that in Agents, Mystic Shine Ball becomes very useful. Being able to summon 2 off of Venus and then make Gachi Gachi and first turn Venus Gachi. Of course, at the time, and even still today, I believe, is a very solid and very good first turn play. Of course, being able to set one of these up and bring out a Hyperion, Gachi boosting Hyperion is very good. The lore isn't, all that good, and as far as, if you draw one, it's very, it's horrible, because Venus only summons from the deck. But it's decent enough to bring it to about the halfway point of the list. Next up, Sabersaurus. Of course, we all know from the time of Dino Rabbits that Sabersaurus was very important. Everyone's going through all their old common cards or anything to try and find it and to toss into Dino Rabbits. Of course, the reason being that it is a very strong 1900 beater for level 4 normal. And of course, with Dino Rabbits being able to just rabbit, bring out Sabersaurus or Cabazools, but Sabersaurus is just better overall in case you draw into it. And of course, making either Logia or Dolka and hurting your opponent. Although with Rescue Rabbit at 1 now, it's kind of it's not as good anymore, but it's still neat. We still all like everybody who played Dino Rabbit still likes it from that time, and people who didn't like Dino Rabbit still loathe it to this day. But it's still very good. Next up at the number 4 spot, I'm going to put Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes White Dragon, of course, being the strongest normal monster in the game at the moment. Fun fact, a while ago this card, Rabbit Dragon, came out, and it has 2,950. They gave it 50 less than Blue Eyes, so that Blue Eyes would still be the strongest. Of course, Blue Eyes, the lore is pretty neat. This legendary dragon is a powerful engine of destruction, virtually invincible. Very few have faced this awesome creature and lived to tell the tale. We all know it from the show, of course. Most people, when they think Yu-Gi-Oh, they think Blue Eyes over like Dark Magician, just because it is stronger and even to this day a bit more usable. When Hieratics were a thing, Blue Eyes Hieratics would see a bit of play. And then when we got that Blue Eyes specific structure deck, with the Maiden of Eyes of Blue, Blue Eyes decks were pretty common to see. Not like always the best, but still fun to see. Of course, when Blue Eyes Prophecy became a thing, that was a lot more. We saw Blue Eyes again, like in the meta and everything for a while, so that was pretty neat to see and everything. Still very good card. The artwork is always neat, how there's like different artworks, and then of course he becomes Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and then the Dragon Master Knight with fusion, just for cool. Next up at the number 3 spot, I would say Flambeau Guard. Flambeau Guard is very useful, especially in Hieratics and Dragon Rulers or Hieratic Rulers. It being a normal monster, and you're able to bring it out from the Hieratic Dragon's effect. It's a level 1 tuner, so that helps you make like level 8 synchros with the Dragon Rulers and everything. Should you be playing like a Cards of Constance build with a different type of dragon deck, then he's definitely a target for that. Worst comes to worst, he is 2,000, so you can go ahead and set him, and it's very nice. And it combos well with Blaster. You can search him off Blaster should you need to, or if you draw him, you can also discard him with Blaster to get the effect to destroy something. So that's, again, very useful. I have had this for a while, and I never really thought that, I had a couple of these, and then when the deck became popular and he became useful, I'm like, hey, trade him off. But of course, very good card. One of my personal favorites as well. The lore is alright. It's pretty neat. And the artwork is just very cool. Just like, he looks like he should be more than just a level 1 monster. Next up at the number 2 spot, an Evil Swarm Heliotrope. Yes, I have to proxy this as well. Evil Swarm Heliotrope, probably, I'd say just about the best Dino Rabbit target. Even still today, in Evil Swarms, 1 rabbit still works out, because should you draw into a Heliotrope, you can always normal summon it, having 1950 attack, very powerful. Or you can go ahead and normal summon it after a Castor, or with Mandragora or anything. And you can go ahead and attack or Xyz into Ophion, and then Ophion just being a very, very powerful Xyz monster, probably one of the best. It's fitting that one of the things that you often use to make him is one of the best normal monsters. Now, the number 1 spot, what I believe to be the best normal monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Labradite Dragon. Now, with Hieratic Dragons and Hieratic Rulers recently kind of coming up, and Labradite Dragon coming out it just becomes very useful. It is a level 6 dragon, so it allows you to bring it off of hieratic dragon's effects and go ahead and exceed, or should you want to. It's also a level 6 tuner, which is very, very powerful. Can go ahead and make a Star Eater with one of the level 5 hieratics. It also combos really well with a card called Dragard, should you want to try that out, which I recommend playing around with to make level 10 synchros. But it's just a very, very powerful monster. Now, this spot could have easily gone to any of the other level 6 monsters, I believe, used in hieratics or hieratic rulers, just because the deck is very, very powerful right now. Well, not as much right now, but recently. And I just think that these normal monsters are very great. Luster Dragon, you being able to use with Tempest, Wattell just having a very big 25, and of course great lore and picture. Same with Luster Dragon. But I feel like Labradorite Dragon is probably the best out of all these, just because of the options you have. For the fact that you can Xyz or Synchro with it, and it's just always kind of there. Of course, the lore is just amazing. The ancients compared this prized creature to moonlight rippling across water, a bringer of harmony, reminder of past glories, able to soothe the hearts of even the most ambitious men. And of course, the artwork just being so very nice, and glad that it's a super rare, so it looks very nice. So that has been my top 10 list of what I believe to be the top 10 normal monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment. Go ahead and let me know what you think. If you have any other order of these same monsters but in a different order, or if you have completely different normal monsters as your top 10, go ahead and let me know what they are. I'll leave them in the description below. I'll go ahead, I'll let you know what I think. Most likely I'll agree with you, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Anything can happen. So that has been it. If you have enjoyed the content, please do subscribe. Also, remember to show your support by leaving a like and a comment. And this has been Josh for DaVinci Yu-Gi-Oh! Signing out.